All right, we are live.
We are live, everyone, so no action from closed session. So I'm gonna move to the mayor's report, and the only thing I'm gonna report on right now is the spring banners are up. I don't know if you've noticed them, but
No, I didn't know.
I am.
we'll check them out.
I was looking for flower baskets the other day.
I don't know when
I think those are coming
out.
after Mother's Day,
Planted,
right?
but not,
I've seen those at Joe's house.
yeah.
Oh, Joe's
yeah.
got them at his house now? Bless his heart. So that's really all I had, just that they look nice. And did we give one to the winner of the spring? Did they get their one banner yet?
No,
They get one,
yeah, we know,
okay.
We might have to order.
Jamie
another.
didn't know that and
They hung them all.
hung them all, so we may have to order an extra one.
I thought we ordered an odd one, an extra.
We ordered 12 of each.
Okay, well,
So-
we'll need to get them one, yeah, and then for the other ones, to make sure that we do that,
Yeah.
okay, all right. Anything from the council members?
I don't know if this is the right time, so Mitch, stop me if it's not. But I met with Mitch earlier this week, and one of the things that I was talking about is with the downtown revite, with the other construction-related projects that we've had, that I wanted to talk about getting a process in place of how we as a city, whether you want to say handle or manage these projects, whether we want to take big construction projects from here on out and we want as a part of the, like the RFP or the contract process be in the budgeted, this third-party review that gets done. There are things that have come up with the downtown revite already with the questions of ultimately who's in charge. Some of the business partners think, well, everything's okay because the city's involved, so they're not gonna let it fall. But what happens if the work isn't done right? Who ultimately is overseeing the work? And so it was one of the things that, and Mitch, I don't know, did we decide to put it on a agenda to talk about it or a work session? Like how we wanna handle these types of initiatives? Because what I said to Mitch is, I don't want something to go wrong with one of these buildings in 3 years, and all of a sudden we look like the people that didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't manage it, and we weren't aware of it, and so how do we fix that up front, and what processes do we need to put in place now when these things, whether that's everybody gets assigned a certain business, or we set up for this one specifically, or we set up a once every other month, we invite the businesses to come in. I don't know what the answer is. So I don't know if that's something again to put on the work session ahead of one to talk about that. I have yet to really figure out how to tackle things like this.
Well, and some of the problems that we've had is just the organization of the materials that are involved in a project. It feels like they aren't kept in one place where we can easily go back and review. Like I know on commercial or work projects, right, that we have, like we're onboarding a new vendor or something. We have one place and everything is kept in one place. Everybody has the access to it, copies.
Right.
Because like for me, I wasn't here when the downtown revite was put out.
Yeah.
And then to even go back and look at like the trails and stuff, that was quite a feat to just pull all of that stuff together. It feels like we should have some kind of standard practice
Something.
when it comes to when a project starts, where materials are kept. And then, like you said, who is in charge of it is clearly identified. Like on this project, anybody can look and say, you know, Donnie's looking over the Chestnut Street, whatever, or Jake or whoever, you know?
And even if it's, because none of us are gonna know, we're not engineers or architects or any of that, but at least there is somebody here that's advocating to whoever the end person is out here. And I know we had some of that happen, this was before any of us, but on the pool, I know there were, based on what I heard from council members, situations where one of the council members would go and say, hey, what are you doing? It's mud. You can't pour concrete. But then where does it go? You know, and so I don't know if that's getting it on and we talk about it at a work session. This is where I'm like, I don't know how we do this, but it's something I would like to see us pursue. Do we put that on the agenda, Mitch, or do you have thoughts, or you're like, I can't believe she just talked about that here, like?
Something that we could look into, like a project management policy. I could do some research with bigger cities, other cities, to see what they do for project management for these bigger
Or
projects.
do you need some of us to be assigned to like,
Well, and
you
that's
guys
what,
want
like,
to?
gather the information?
I think it would be more productive if we looked into some stuff beforehand and found some best practices, rather than just spitballing ideas in a work session, but had some concrete research we could discuss from probably some other cities.
On how they do it?
Maybe do that first and then set up a work session just to talk about
I
what
think
you
Eric
found.
wanted to.
I do have one, before we dismiss, I did have a question get brought up about those that live on Marion Avenue or Oak Circle or Oak Ridge out here by the high school, and those that live up at, I'll say Gateway, and or even west of town here, golf cart wise. We're probably not gonna enforce the Sharp Street, Locust Street rule if they're riding in and dive off on the first side streets, just unless you guys have a different opinion on that. That's my opinion. They shouldn't be punished just because that's where they bought their house, but
And that's the only way to get into town is on Sharp Street or Locust Street, yeah.
correct.
I think we talked about that a long time ago too.
I know,
Yeah.
sometimes we just need a reminder though.
That's, I'm glad you did, because I didn't remember that until you said that. Okay.
Lori,
I
I just want to bring
agree.
that up and make sure you guys are.
I completely agree.
They would technically be in violation of the ordinance, so when they're on those streets, just.
But we could maybe put something in the ordinance about that, those that live where they have to for that short time to get to
I
the
think
next.
that.
So maybe you and I can get together in the next couple of weeks before we bring this back and help me word that,
Agreed.
and then let them talk about it in 2 weeks. Okay, all right, we're on. We got a date. Anything
Yeah,
else?
that'll get tricky though, huh? Sorry. I mean, I hadn't, I knew that and I agree with that. I'm afraid if we put something in words, then we're gonna be playing with fire again. You know what I mean? It opens that whole thing up. Well, I live 3 blocks and we're just
We'll see
never
what we
gonna
come
make
up with.
everybody happy.
Yep. Okay, anything else from the council? I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Lyons, second.
Smothers,
All in favor, say aye.
I.
Motion adjourned at 8 something, 8:29. My watch died. So. Thank you, everyone.
All right.